Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Mr. Bravo's workshop. I hope you are all well. It is a little bit early this morning. What have we got here? 10 to 6. Been up for quite a while. Anyway, this episode is probably a good couple of days after the last one. So where are we now? We have most of our markings. Move that coffee out the way. We have most of our markings on the ship for the next sticker. The sticker being the front. Now, I just want to have a talk about these stickers just for one moment. When we did the other ship, the Queen Elizabeth, we had to do several different stickers, but it turns out with this ship, and it is quite a smart design, mostly because almost with the one set of stickers, you can almost do the entire camouflage on this ship. Excuse me, and it works out, if you do the white first, you can pretty much almost get away with it, doing the one sticker set and that's it. On the other one, we had to make several different stickers, and each time that we painted a different color, just the way that it worked out. So even just here, if I move to the back of the ship just for 1 second, so we have the white under here, we have the blue here, and then afterwards we have the black here. So just with the one sticker, there's almost nothing else that needs to be done apart from covering up the areas that we don't want painted with the next color. So same with the front over here. Even though there's lots of markings, by the time we finish doing this one sticker, it will separate the front darker blue. You'll also have the blue, the lighter blue in here. It'll also hold the light, or the white I've been calling it. And it'll also have your separation mark for the next dark colour across the back here. The only one that makes any difference on this side is the little piece up here where we have to do a sticker on a sticker. But again, if we cut that out beforehand and still stick it on and then put a sticker over the top, we can just take that off and that's it. So pretty much just with the one colour and the one lot of stickers, you could almost do this whole camouflage in one hit. So there is our ship with all our marking lines, and we will go over them one more time as we're doing the sticker. These are only just telling us exactly where the lines are, so we will measure this later. But we also need one more very specific line, which is, how do we know how to put this sticker on the ship once we mark everything out? So in other words, we don't want it too far left, we don't want it too far right, so we need one more line that's going to help us. We could either put a mark at the end of the ship, but that won't work because we're going to cut the end of the sticker off, so that's not going to work. There's no actual line through here, that won't work. The only real line that I see that would probably define it is going to be right here. There's a ridge here that's risen, I suppose. If we put a line here, just like that, and while we're marking it out, we want this line to be, remember, we're going to duplicate most of this onto a sticker, so we don't want this line to think that it's anything but that. So let's put across through there and across through there. This tells us where to line this up as far as the ship. So when we first put the sticker on, we'll tap it on here and roll it backwards, and then, because it is rather a long sticker, and then we can roll it forward the other way and obviously make some adjustments as we go. I would have preferred it to be more in the center or work on the bigger side and then come back, but there's not really any reference point to go off, so it's not as going to be as easy to do. Let's remove the forward structure, put that over there. So we've got this. Let's take the floors back off, don't need those anymore. let's move those out the way over there. Okay, so before we go any further, we need to know how big our sticker needs to be. And I can tell you right now, this is a 200mm ruler, and it's bigger than that. Not much bigger. Let's go with, let's use the grid. You probably seriously want, while you're mucking around with these, 20 or 30mm past what you want, and then you can just chop that off later. We will have to chop the front one because that dictates the blue line, and this is why I'm saying, just with this one sticker, you're almost doing all the camouflage on this ship. Turns out, I do believe the light colour was the right way to go on the ship. If you started off with a different colour, it wouldn't work out this way. So I do believe that worked out rather well. So we need these 50, 152, 250, and maybe even a little bit more will probably do it. Because I'm pretty sure this one goes this way. And we'll have to define that one as well. We'll have to cut that one off because that also does the next colour. So yeah, if you make your tape at least 250 long, then that's a good start. Okay, I've got my sticker down. I'm going to de-sticker it just a little bit, not too much. De-sticker it, put it on, take it off, make it lose some of its stickiness, just a little bit. Only because this stuff is pretty tight. I think I'll do that maybe one more time, and I'm going to put it on the grid properly this time because I do like to use the grid. Can we put another line? Yeah, there we go. That's a bit better. But I may have to change my glasses one more time. So there's that one on. Give me 1 second. So there we have our sticker, and I did say the sticker is a little bit longer than a 200mm ruler. It's probably about 300, and in honesty, it's probably going to be somewhere around the tip here, which is in the screen, and probably somewhere around here. Let's go that way. Let's go there. So I'm going to start off with my end line, just here, using the grid for our 90 degree. Now, what do I think I'm going to do here? There's more than enough in that to do the 45. There is more than enough to do the 45. This is where the grid helps. Just turning back a little bit. Just from this point to this point, you can easily get your 45 and use the grid to help you. I'm just going to get set up again. So hopefully using the camera, we can actually do both of these in the one hit, and we'll work our way backwards. And when we work our way backwards, we'll have all the measurements and all the marks on here, which I will then be able to say, rightio, if you get a 300mm tape, 250, whatever, starting off here, you can put all these marks on, and then that's half the working out done for you, and then you just got to cut your shapes out. So what we'll do is we'll call this mark here our very first mark. So hopefully this will make a bit of sense to you. So our next one is, and we've got to be fairly accurate here. I'm going to call that 13mm from the first one. So we'll do that. And again, using our grid for our 90 degrees to put our next line on. Also, to make sure that we are not stretching this tape, we're going to measure this twice. So we know the first one is 13mm. We could measure the next one off this one, which would be 38, and also off the first one, which would be approximately 51. So if you measure it twice, you won't be stretching your sticker. So we need 38, and we'll double check it with the 51 before we actually put the line in. So we'll do that. I'll do one of these on camera. So there's our old line, 38. somewhere there. I really should sharpen this pencil. There, and you can double check it off your first one, 51, happy with that. Let's put that line in. I'll do it this way. Again, using the grid that is coming through the tape to make sure that the line is straight or 90 degrees. So there's our next line, and we will continue on with this. Maybe just so you don't get confused, you could put a line through there and through there to say that one's done. We've now done that one there, just to sort of say that we've done it. So the next line on the ship, so I can pick my ruler back up, would be 15 mil. And going back to our first one, I'm going to call that 67. So let's do 15. There is my 15. There is 67. Just double checking that. Yep, that's pretty right. Again, using the grid for our 90 degree mark. I hold the ruler just off the mark, allowing for the pencil to be pushed out. And of course that works pretty well for me. So I'm pretty happy with that. And of course we're going to mark off the ship that we've done that line too. So you can see what's happening here. We're kind of duplicating what we already did onto our tape. So our next one is quite big. I do believe that's our blue line or something like that, yes. I'm going to call that 61. So let's put that line in. Also making sure that it's not stretched. Let's go back to our first one. I'm going to call that 128. Roughly. Let's double check. Measure twice, cut once. Yep, 128. Pretty much right there. Yep. There is our line on there. Let's put a mark on that one to say we've done that one. Do we need to move everything along a little bit? I think we do, just a little bit. So the next one from that one there is, gee, it's almost, was it 20? 21. Let's do 21. And I just measured that and it looked like it was 150 from our first mark. Let's double check. Yep, 150, happy with that. Let's go. Of course, now let's mark that line off to say that we've done it. Why are we doing this? Just so we know we don't get confused. There's an awful lot of lines on here, but they will all make sense in a few minutes. So our next line, let's keep moving. Get that ruler out. It kind of gets stuck underneath the camera here, under here. Yeah, so let's go the next one. It's actually under 20 mil. It's not 18, it's not 19, somewhere in the middle. I'd just say 19 on that one. That's fine. Next line is 19. Let's mark that out. When I marked that out, I actually did like in the middle between 18 and 19. Let's get our overall measurement roughly, and we got about 169, I believe. Just to make sure that the sticker's not being stretched. Double check that. 168. Let's go a little more. So while we double check everything. Something there. Let's put that line on. Okay, there's our next line on. Now, I do believe, let me bring the ship back in. There's the ship back in. Let's mark that one off that we're done. Our next line is the most crucialist line of all. Crucialist? I don't know if that's even a word. Most crucial? Yeah, that's better. What have we got here? Bang on 5 mil. Why is this line so important? The next line is the line that tells us where to place our sticker, either left or right on the ship. So let's put the next 5 mil line in. So I've just marked in my 5mm just here. Now I want to do an overall measurement of the ship, or the overall from the start. Here is our ship. Let's grab the ruler back out. So we want an overall measurement from the start. And I am kind of half eyeballing this, and because obviously I can't put the ruler dead flat. Oh, I can probably get it more flat that way. I'm going to say it's 174. Let's go down here, double check our overall measurement. Yeah, 174. Happy with that. So this line here, I'm putting a couple of cross lines in it. I think I'll just do it that way. This will tell me that this is the line to line everything up with, that it's not actually part of the sticker line. Now we only have 2 more left, so let's keep going. Okay, our next line is, let's go here, from our last line, which would be our marking line. I'm going to call that 23. Happy with that? Yeah, 23. And it was 198 overall from the start to there. I did have to stretch mine just a little bit. It was a hard measurement to grab, kind of eyeballing it, but it is 198. So for that reason, I moved my line out a little bit. Let's put that line on there. I thought I'd bring you back in while I'm putting one line on. You see the line, but I'm taking my time to make sure they're dead right and that I'm happy with them. Yeah, pretty happy with that. Okay, that was our next line there. Just to mark to say that we've done it. Not that we need to, because we are on the last line now. We can't do an overall measurement of this one, but we can measure it. So let's do that. I'm going to say bang on 10mm. How's that for the last mark? Beautiful. Let's put it on. So now we have our lines transferred from the ship. You've seen how we got the lines. We used the ship and the structures to put all these lines on the ship. We've also now just transferred them to the tape, which makes it really easy. So we have some excess tape here, and we have lots of excess tape here. So what do we end up doing as our overall measurement? I do believe it's just a fraction over 200, which would be, it's actually around about 210. I say around about because our measurement before was 198. This one here was 10mm, so it's, 208, thereabouts, which happens to be a very big sticker to place on. But like I said before, with this one sticker, you're almost doing the entire camouflage if you paint the white first. The main reason I paint the white first is the lightest colour, you cover it up, and then you paint the next colour, and even in automotive they generally do the light colour first. Why? Because it's very hard to put light over dark, but very easy to put dark over light. So there we have our lines almost identical to the ship. So pretty much we don't need the ship anymore. We can remove this from the equation here. But it is just in the background because we need to work out other bits and pieces of the ship, as in the shapes and where each one goes. So while it is out of the way, it's just not really out of the way, so if you know what I mean. So what's our next thing we need to do? Well, just like the other sticker, we now need to work out the depth of where we want everything to go. And obviously the back half is a little less than the front half, which would be somewhere around here on our sticker. So that one there is 1, 2, 3. There's 1, 2, 3. That one there. It's going to be somewhere around here that the change happens from 21, thereabouts, down to 12. Okay, this is actually a measurement you will need off your ship as well, and I need it on mine. You need to know your depth. That's the depth of where your white line is. I'm going to call mine 20. Now, like I said, in the end, I did end up eyeballing this line. I took in everything that we worked out, plus the pencil line, plus the stuff that we knew that the line was very close to that marking through there. And when I dropped the line, I dropped it down pretty tight and pretty happy with it the way that it looked. I was happy with it the way that it looked like by the illustrations. Does that mean it's the same across the whole lot? I don't really know. I haven't checked it. What's it like up this end? Yeah, it's almost 21 at that end, but you can't really see it. I did believe all along that the middle of the ship here was slightly different to the other end, and it turns out it is. But I'm very happy with the line, the way that it falls, because 1 mil over that distance, you can't see it. So anyway, the whole point of that is we're going to work out where to drop this line. I'm going to call it, and the whole reason for this line is we need to know how far to mark it down. So I'm going to call that, it's 21, it's more 21 than it's not. Definitely 21 there, and over here, it's definitely 20. I'm going to mark it mine as 21. I could even mark it if I wanted to as 21 there and 20 here. It doesn't really matter. I might even do that. This is a sticker to go on. It's not. You're not going to see it later on. It's going to come off. So just looking at the ship from our divided line, which was this one here, it is 20 mil back, which is roughly here. I'm going to put a little tiny mark through here to sort of let me know this is where the ship drops. So I'll do 2 lines here, one with the 21 mil coming through, 21 mil down from the top, and the other one will be, well, that's interesting. The other one will have to be a drop down, and then we've got to do our 12 mil line because we're using the one sticker to do all of this. Only because the white dictated it to. If it was different areas, but as I said earlier, the white in this is quite long, but it disappears in some spots. So let's mark out our depth lines as well, just in case that was not clear. We want our depth between the top and our watermark line down here, which is already covered. And then we'll need our depth from using the same tape. We have to cut that section out, so then we have to mark this and this. Let's worry about our 21 first and do that. Okay, so what I did, I put the ruler on 21 overall, and from our 100 mark we'll pick it up and put our line on there. Yeah, pretty happy with that. And what we'll do, because the line does vary here and we really are going off the top of the ship, let's come back down here and put 20 mil, because that's probably more accurate than it's not. I'm just going to use a different line there, and probably there. So there's our other line. So what we need to do is we need to put that line in. So let's do that. Now I changed my mind slightly. Let's go 21. Only because I was not happy with the. I was just not happy with the line looking crooked. So let's go back. So let's go back there and now put the line in. And of course, using the grid and the ruler, trying to keep it pretty symmetrical. I mean, you can be a little bit out, and to be honest with you, my pencil's a little blunt. I did try to find the sharpener, but I couldn't really find it. So we are there. Oh, I moved the ruler. That's very bad. Okay, let's continue. Again, we're not chopping that line. That just tells us where our grid is, or our working grid to do our sticker. So that's one. The other thing I've just done is I've measured more accurately between where we're using our marking line, this line here, and the edge of this one here, because we have to cut that shape out. So I wanted to be just a little more accurate, and I'm going to call that 17 mil from there and there. And I rechanged the line down here. I'm going to put that line in, and of course using the grid underneath to make sure we're still 90 degrees. I'm going to put that line all the way through, but I'm also going to put a separation line to sort of say that's not one of our grid lines. Now, we need to know down on the ship now. Down, what is it? To the top. Got to be fairly accurate with this one. If I can get it on there. What is it? It's like 5, 6, 7 and a half. Well, that's interesting. Okay, so now we need to come down from the top 7 and a half. This will all make sense in just a few minutes. So I'll muck around and put the 7 and a half line in. Okay, so there's our 7 and a half line. Now, overall, can I just say that from where the ship drops down, we're only dealing with 50 mil thereabouts, so we're not really dealing with much more than the front sticker. We are going to put it on from this point only because it tells us, but overall we're going to be dealing with most of the sticker being forward from this point and only about 50 mil back. I put my line in. I'm just going to turn the camera just a little bit there. I know it's not quite right, but on the grid it's pretty normal for me. So what does that mean? So it means all of this now is not going to be used. Alright? So we have our ship back. We don't need any of that. We have our 21 coming down, and we've got our grid line in there. I will just fix that last bit up. And then we have our dip on our ship. So let's continue with this. So right now I'm very happy that I've got all the grid lines in. We know the depth of the ship here. We know the depth of the ship here. So pretty much we have kind of like a sticker replica of the ship. Now we need to start to work out the lines, the shapes, other bits and pieces, and to start shaping our sticker. So just so you don't get confused, I'm going to do this with you one at a time. So now you're probably wondering, well, what do all these lines now mean? We did already work it out, but just as a refresh, going by the drawing, our first one was back here. We had another one. No, it wasn't. It was back here. Sorry. It was here. So this dictated our last line, and the very next line was the white there, which we used the funnel. So those two kind of dictated which way the angle went. And we had this line here that sort of said, well, this is where it started from. So what we need a line from here to here across those two. So that's here to here. So let's put that line in. So it's from there to there. Let's put that line in. And of course that is the actual real top of our ship there at the lowest point, not the highest point. What sort of throws you off here is this line here, which is the reason why I put all these lines in it, because we know that's not really part of our markings. So yeah. So let me just think here for 1 second. Do you remember that really faint line that I said was under here? This is where this area is. So on our sticker, can I zoom in? So we're going from the top across to the bottom, and then we put the second line in, which was the funnel, because we're going to pick up some light blue through here. So at some point, remember I said it was a very, very faint line through here. Oh, is this going to work like this because we dropped the sticker? I thought something did look wrong. That's the tall part. That's the bottom part. We need this line to carry through. Yeah, we do. Let's fix that up. Just move the camera, and I'm going to concentrate more on the rear section just here. I was looking at it going, something looks a bit off here, and I couldn't quite work it out. And then I realised, if I see, this sticker does not necessarily represent the bottom of the ship, and the bottom of the ship is technically here. If we follow this line along, and this is what was throwing me off, I was calling this the bottom, and it doesn't work. So we need that line. When I say that line, I mean the 21mm line to travel all the way through, because technically that's not our 21mm line. That is our water line, or our black line. So we do need that through. So I'm just going to put that back. And I did. I was looking at it going, what is wrong there? There's something not quite right. Let's put that line through. I'm just kind of eyeballing that. Actually, let's not eyeball it. Let's mark it properly. Well, there it is there, our 21 line mark. Let's put that on, and overall, let's go slightly past it. Yeah, pretty happy with that. Now, that makes a huge difference. So I kind of rubbed this line out, but you can still see it. Now if you take that line and go from there to there, see how it changes everything? I finished doing this episode, but the episode went for like an hour. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this section up until here, and we are going to continue it on the next episode to finish the sticker off. I hope so far that it's all made sense and you kind of understand where we're going, and we'll understand a little bit more on the next episode. Thanks for watching. I've enjoyed doing this section as well. This sticker was a little difficult to do, but it does come out in the end. Anyway, I hope to see you on the next episode, and bye for now.